let me first ask you, how difficult was it for you to take a decision to ease the curfew restrictions overnight? I mean, I know the significance of the Shab-e-Miraj festival, but on the other hand, you had all of these security concerns. You had a Hazrat Bal Chalo call from Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani's faction of the Hurriyat. So when you were weighing the pros and cons, what made you weigh in eventually on the side of the decision to ease the curfew?
The fact that we had to trust the better judgment of the majority of the people. The majority of the people are not what you see on the street pelting stones and creating trouble. They are the ones who are on the receiving end of all the restrictions and difficulties that the people are now having to suffer. And to heap insult on injury by denying them the opportunity to pray in the manner or in the location that they would have chosen, I think would have been extremely unfair and would have actually played into the hands of all those people who don't want normalcy restored to the valley. So even though it was a decision that took a lot of debate and discussion, I was very clear in my mind that I was not going to be the person who was responsible for ensuring that no prayers take place in Hazrat Bal.
Or some people, at least, that I met at Hazrat Bal were upset that because the curfew was lifted so late in the day, maybe people who needed to come in from, outside Srinagar at least would not manage, or further corners of Srinagar. But do you think that was an inevitable casualty of the circumstances you were operating in?
There were bound to be difficulties on account of the circumstances. Ideally, we wouldn't have been in this position where we'd have had to keep the sort of restrictions in place. But we did, through the provision of state transport buses, try and facilitate people's visit to Hazrat Bal Shrine.
And now, interestingly, 5 a.m. this morning was the time when the curfew was meant to be back. In most parts of the valley, it's not actually back. And that's a good sign.
Well, in most parts of the valley, it's not back. It's obviously early days yet. The mood is far from normal. We need to be very careful how we handle any incidents. We also need to be very careful with rumors. I think it's extremely unfortunate that on the one hand, the media screams when they feel that they're facing restrictions on account of the situation. But the moment we ease things for them, they go back to form and start broadcasting news on seemingly responsible channels, which is far from the truth, and as a result of which we've had to put curfew in a particular area because one channel decided that somebody had died there, where that hadn't happened.
In the present circumstances, would you be able to forecast how long this curfew will remain eased up in the way that it is right now?
So long as there are no serious incidents that set us back, I think this will be a process of gradual relaxation of curfew. 13th July is going to be a day that will pose some challenges for us because there is a Eidgah Chalo call on that day. So I dare say there will be some restrictions, perhaps even imposition of curfew in some areas. But so long as I said, the majority of the people, which are the right-thinking ones, try and go about their normal business and we can localize the problems, I don't see any serious problems.
Let's take a look at the original decision to deploy the army. You've been criticized roundly for it by the opposition here, who say it's completely the wrong message to send. There are a number of Kashmir watchers who believe that the symbolism is all wrong, that at a time when you should be politically reaching out to people, you've used more force to quell anger.
Well, let me ask you, you've been here a few days. How many places have you seen the army?
Nowhere in the inner city, actually.
I mean, the decision to deploy the army was taken under extremely difficult circumstances in which the mood of the people was very raw on Tuesday. It's one thing to mourn the death of a stone pelter. Perhaps somewhere people tend to react a little differently. But when the young lady, Fancy, died leaning out of her window watching the proceedings in the street below, the mood changed completely.
Tuba.com